Merci Joël. Voilà, je vous rappelle, il est 9h39 et à 9h45, nous partirons pour les qualifications pendant 30 minutes de la catégorie internationale GTOpen. Dans cette catégorie internationale GTOpen que l'on va retrouver, mais surtout vous parler donc dans cette catégorie internationale GTOpen, donc les équipages, pour les teams, les équipages, il y a deux donc pilotes par équipage, on change, donc on va vous les présenter tout à l'heure et également vous parler des chronos et de ceux qui sont illustrés. On a eu dans cette catégorie une vraiment très très belle bagarre du début jusqu'à la fin. Et en ce qui concerne l'international GTOpen, des courses qui durent plus de 30 minutes et la course internationale GTOpen, la deuxième course du week-end, qui aura lieu à 14h15. Je rappelle le programme de cette journée. Donc dans 9h45, c'est-à-dire dans moins de 5 minutes maintenant, nous allons partir pour 30 minutes de qualification dans cette catégorie internationale GTOpen. Ensuite, on devrait jouer la placette pour le championnat de France. Et là, ce sera la deuxième course du week-end du championnat de France Super Tourisme et Jet 2. Ensuite, à 11h25, les postes GP, avec là également du spectacle en perspective, que vous allez entendre le prix pour certains pilotes de Formule 1. Ensuite, nous dirons à 13h15, il y aura une petite pause de 11h55 à 12h55. À 13h15, la deuxième course Euro Formula Open. À 14h15, l'international, la deuxième course du week-end pour la catégorie internationale GT Open pendant 60 minutes, alors que les Euro Formula Open viennent souvent de circuit. Et ensuite, à 15h50, la troisième et donc les dernières courses du week-end pour le championnat de France Super Tourisme et Jet 2. Allez, dans quelques instants, nous allons partir de la température monte. Le vert pour cette catégorie, donc les qualifications internationales du GTOpen. Alors dans cette catégorie internationale du GTOpen, on a retrouvé une lamborghini, pas tous, mais une magnifique voiture avec des lamborghini différentes, des Bentley, Mercedes, Lexus. Et en parlant justement de Lexus, il y a une très belle performance pour le Suisse Philippe Pierre, associé à Vercosta, team élite Lexus aussi. Belle bagarre également, voiture numéro 1 avec Thomas Biaggi, attention dans moins de 10 secondes, le vert.
Okay, good morning everybody, and a very warm welcome to Paul Ricard as you join us for the start of qualifying for the 6th race of the international GTOpen season. And the pit lane has just opened for 30 minutes of qualifying. 28 car entry this weekend, and we should be in for a very entertaining session. Yesterday's race was absolutely fantastic. It was claimed by the car that you're watching coming down the pit lane now, Miguel Ramos and Michael Mack in the Spirit of Race Ferrari 488. It was Michael Mack who qualified in pole position. Wasn't quite the story of the race because that car, the number 51 BMW of Lorenzo Beirao de Viega and Augusto Farfus, was able to keep it very honest in the opening stages of the race. But this morning's qualifying session is given over to the drivers who finished yesterday's race and will start today's race. So in terms of potential challenges for pole position, we would maybe be looking to the car that's got its headlights ablaze going towards us now. That's Marco Ciocci in the AF Course Ferrari. It's just behind Martin Conrad, the MS Racing Mercedes, and Ciocci was flying during the second half of yesterday's race. Also interesting to keep an eye on the progress of Andrea Caldarelli in the SF Racing Ferrari. Caldarelli was the pace setter during free practice on Friday. So we are looking at two of the cars finished right up there yesterday. The bright green SPS Automotive Mercedes, Valentin Pierberg, just in behind the Imperiale Racing Lamborghini of Vito Postiglione. Well, Pierberg, Thomas Local having their season's best result yesterday, Pro-Am victory, third in the race altogether. And Pierberg, in particular, putting together one of his strongest performances of the season to date. But a little snatch of the brake there into the Virage Dupont. But this, obviously, the early stages of qualifying, just getting a bit of heat into the tyres. It's also worth considering the different tyre strategies that the teams have been deploying over the weekend and who is going to be really pushing for pole in this session. Well, here is Mario Farnbacher, the Farnbacher Racing Lexus that has won twice so far this season, but didn't make it to the finish yesterday, an early retirement when Dominic Farnbacher was at the wheel. He's being followed on track by Johnny Molam in the FF Course Ferrari. Molam, who qualified on the front row for race 2 in Spa, was unable to take the start after an incident in the tail end of that qualifying session, but Johnny Molam, another driver to watch for over the next 27 minutes as he will look to press for pole position. Vito Postiglione disappointed not to finish yesterday's race, the car expiring late on, but he and Andrea Fontana have been getting better with each and every race as the car's heading out of Virage d'École and then down onto the Mistral Straight. There's the Scarlet Ferrari of Marco Ciocci. It's the Kaspersky Racing, Kaspersky Motorsport Ferrari just behind of Davide Rizzo. And there is Philip Fromenvilla, the championship leader in the Emil Frey Racing Lexus. Fromenvilla and Albert Costa finishing 4th yesterday. They have had 2 victories already to their credit this season. And unlike the Farnbacher Lexus, they have made it to the checkered flag in every race as well. And so they are at the top of the points. Oh, now there is going very slowly Mario Farnbacher in the Farnbacher Racing Lexus, plagued with problems yesterday. And is that another issue for the car that was leading the championship as we arrived here in Paul Ricard at the start of the weekend? And Mario Farnbacher touring. They've had a really torrid weekend. All sorts of gremlins during practice on Friday. An early retirement yesterday, and having been winding up the pace at the start of this morning's session, car encountering an issue. So, coming through the Courbe du Sine now, so it's a fairly long old trek back towards the pits as Kiko Calbiati in the Antonelli Motorsport Lamborghini just pushing a little bit too hard at the wheel of the Lamborghini Huracan. Now here, well, that's not a little bit too hard, that is very much too hard. And he runs out to the ultra-high abrasion tarmac, which are the red stripes, so he may have possibly picked up a little bit of damage to his tyres. Now here is Andrea Caldarelli coming towards us, and Caldarelli surely is going to be a pretty solid candidate for pole position in the SF Racing Ferrari. He set the fastest lap in yesterday's race when he took over in the second phase of proceedings, and he is, I'm sure, going to be pushing hard. Oh, that's Mike Benham in a bit of trouble. So Michael Benham at the wheel of the Garage 59 McLaren, having had a rotation. He and Duncan Tappy having a very frustrating race yesterday en route to 11th with chronic understeer. That, from the tyre marks, just looks like a rotation. That looks like something more than a rotation. That is an erstwhile wheel. From whence it came, we'll find out. Marshall brings it to a halt. Just wonder, let's see. Well, this is Mike Benham's moment, and that's a fairly fast old spin, and he did extremely well to keep that out of the barriers. I was just about to speculate whether it could have been from the Farnbacher Lexus. Indeed it is, and so that would explain why Mario Farnbacher was limping as the wheel detaches. Makes a bid for freedom and for our cameraman. So we're just starting to get a couple of flying laps being posted. It's Martin Conrad currently in the MS Racing Mercedes who's quickest. Here is Thomas Biaggi, yesterday's race winner, the reigning champion, of course, in the International GTOpen. And Biaggi at the wheel of the Imperiale Racing Lamborghini Huracan alongside Giovanni Venturini. He's had 2 podium finishes already this season. And the real trick with Thomas Biaggi is that he is so good at just picking up those points. He knows when he can go for the race victory and will go all out for the win. He also knows to spot those days where just making it through to the flag with a good haul of points is the best that he can do. Another car to watch for is the one actually just behind Thomas Biaggi. That is Thomas Jaeger at the wheel of the Lechner Racing Mercedes. This is the Conrad Lamborghini of Paul Scheusner. Didn't see masses of Paul yesterday. He's currently 14th, but we're in the still the opening exchanges of the session. And great to have the Conrad Lamborghini on the grid this weekend. Got a little bit caught up, Henrik still in the first lap. I think the car got turned sideways. Fortunately didn't pick up too much damage. And here is Marco Ciocci, the Ferrari on a flying lap, but Com Ledegaard it is who's just gone quickest. So Ledegaard setting the first potent time of the session in the Garage 59 McLaren. Ledegaard at 2 minutes 4.9. Now what has Ciocci got by way of retaliation? He's tucked in behind Valentin Pierberg, who also would seem to be on a reasonably quick lap at the moment, Pierberg. As they head into the Duboudois de Beauzet before heading into this technical final sector of the lap. Don't think this is going to be an improved time for Ciocci. No, it's not. And the Italian needs to find a little bit of clear air if he possibly can. He'd like to clear Valentin Pierberg over the course of this lap. That will then give him a clear run for the next one, which could be a flyer. So the order is currently Ledegaard, Conrad, Johnny Molam is 3rd, Thomas Jaeger is 4th, Andrea Caldarelli is 5th, and Davide Rizzo 6th. Marco Ciocci is into the pits, possibly having done a little bit of a sighter. Valentin Pierberg currently 16th, the best lap of a 2 minutes 9.9, which isn't really indicative time. We'd expect pole position to be in the low 2 minute 4 second bracket, maybe a very, very high 2 minute 3. So Ledegaard's current pole position mark of a 2 minutes 4.908. Now the car we want to try and pick up if we can is that of Fran Rueda. There is Com Ledegaard, our current pole sitter. Ledegaard partners Alexander West in Garage 59 McLaren, one of the stars of the International GTOpen over the past couple of seasons. Ledegaard always able to pull something out of the hat. This isn't a flying lap he's currently on. And yet it's an in-lap he might well get a fresh set of boots to go and play with. So Fran Rueda in the Teo Marti Motorsport BMWs in the 3rd sector now is on a real flyer. Rueda has just done the fastest middle sector of the session altogether. We're waiting for him to come across this finish line as Alex West pops the door. Looks to duck in for Consultation, and Rueda does take pole position. So Fran Rueda moves to the top of the times. He heads towards turn 1 as we follow Valentin Pierberg through the Courbe de Seine. Pierberg yet to set a flying lap in this session, and this one doesn't look like it's going to be the one either. So far, there are 3 cars we've not seen out in the session. That's Jordan Witt in the Jordan Racing Bentley, Davide Roda in the second Antonelli Lamborghini, and Hiroshi Hamaguchi in the Triple F Racing Lamborghini. Big question mark whether or not we're actually going to see Hamaguchi. Now here is the car we were just talking about, Fran Rueda, who's just set the pole position marker 2 minutes 4.8, so we expect it will be bettered. But Rueda and Victor Bouveng having a really fine drive yesterday, their second best result of the season to date for this young pairing. 5th position, they were on the podium in Spa with a 2nd place, but the Teo Marti Motorsport BMW is looking very good so far this weekend. There is Martin Conrad in the MS Racing Mercedes. Conrad and Alexander Joaquina were runners-up in the AM class yesterday, and Conrad currently 3rd in the times. This is Jose Balbiani at the wheel of one of the sporting new Mercedes. Balbiani finished 3rd in the AM class yesterday as Ledegaard is out of the car, debriefing with team manager Tim Mullen as Lorenco Bearau de Viega rolls into the pits in the other of the Teo Marti Motorsport BMWs. Bearau, who didn't actually get a chance to race yesterday after Augusto Farfus flying in the first phase of the race, came in for the pit stop. Smoke suddenly started to pour forth, and therefore their race went no further. Mike Benham, meanwhile, having recovered from his early spin, looking to put in a time, and looking for where he's currently 18th in the times, Michael Benham. We are starting to see, though, a little bit of movement at the top. Vito Postiglione has just gone 4th, so the classification is Fran Rueda 1st, Com Ledegaard 2nd, Martin Conrad is 3rd, Vito Postiglione's 4th, Andrea Caldarelli 5th, Johnny Molam 6th, Thomas Jaeger 7th, Davide Rizzo 8th, Marco Ciocci 9th, and Alan Hellmeister in 10th. But we are still only 13 minutes into this session, as here is Sean Balfe in the Balfe Motorsport McLaren. Car that qualified 4th in yesterday's race faded away in the latter stages. It was a difficult day all around for the McLarens, and it meant that Sean got shuffled off the Pro-Am podium in the latter stages of the race. He's currently 16th in the times. He's got the very quick Rob Bell, who'll take over from him the second half of the race, but Sean will want to be right up there on the grid if he possibly can be. Saw at the opening event of the year in Estoril a track that really suited the McLaren. At Spa, the McLaren's very much in the mix. Here they are having to work the car pretty hard through the twisty bits. But as an overall lap time, the McLaren is still a very competitive proposition, as we have seen from Com Ledegaard. So the bulk of the field currently in the pits. They will be, if they can, putting on a new set of Michelin tyres and then going all out for a bit of a pole position shootout late on. Now, in yesterday's qualifying session, because of the high ambient air temperature, which at the start of the session was 28.8 degrees centigrade, means they'll only have the chance to probably get 1 or 2 quick laps out of the rubber, as into the pits ducks Sean Balfe. Here is Andrea Caldarelli. Now this is going to be a car worth following, because the Italian, who is breathtakingly fast and whatever he puts his hand to, has got the benefit of a largely clear track here. This is going to be an out lap. He might do 2 laps to warm up the tyres and then pull the pin and really go for it. But certainly of our anticipated pole challengers, he is the first to have emerged from the pit lane. So let's see what he can do. Italian just coming towards the end of the lap as we tip over the halfway point in the session. Swings around the very tight right-hander at the Virage du Pont. The sun gleams off the silver and black livery of the SF Racing Ferrari as now Caldarelli accelerates through. Is this the start of a flying lap or not? Possibly not. We'll find out at the end of the first sector. Quick change of direction through turns 1 and 2, riding the camber out over the curb on the exit. Then the run through to another chicane that then tightens into that very, very tricky right-hander, which is where he is now. Picks up the throttle coming out of it, and this for Caldarelli is a good lap. He's just done a 34.4 in the first sector, which is right up there with the sector time that Ricard was setting en route to his best mark. Down the Mistral straight then, the heat haze pounds off the Ferrari as Caldarelli accelerates and then gets onto the brakes into the chicane. Sits pretty much bang in the middle of the Mistral straight. And then again picks up the throttle, hops up over the curb, accelerates down. You can see the Courbe du Cygne up ahead of him. So it's a 34.4 for Caldarelli through the first sector. It's a 37.1, the fastest middle sector of the session so far for Caldarelli. This is going to potentially be a very good lap if he can navigate the long and technical final sector of the lap. Through the Dubourgois de Beauzet, no issues there at all. The Ferrari just uses the momentum, uses the aerodynamic grip available to him, uses the mechanical grip that he can get from the Michelin tyre. We're starting to see the times coming together. Mario Farnbacher's just posted the best, a 2 minutes 5.9 to go 5th in the Farnbacher Racing Lexus. Caldarelli heads into the Virage du Pont, out to the right-hander. This should be a lap that's going to be enough to move him to the top of the times for the time being. Let's have a look as he accelerates through, waiting for him to break the timing beam, which he does now, a 2 minutes 3.5, and he absolutely smashes the target, and that is a real benchmark for the rest to go for. Quicker than yesterday's pole position mark, and Caldarelli now 1.2 seconds clear of the rest of the field after an absolutely exceptional lap. What have the rest of them got by way of response? Well, Thomas Jaeger is on a quick one in the Lechner Racing Mercedes. Others are all just in the process of emerging from the pits, as Caldarelli has got Mauro Calamia in the Solaris Aston Martin closing onto his tail. The Solaris team have had so much bad luck already this season. That is the AB Sport Auto Lamborghini of Harry Tenketian, and Geoffrey Denardi, the other driver of that car, was very impressive in yesterday's race. So a reasonable qualifying position here might be enough to see that car moving through the field. Now, what can Thomas Biaggi do? Not much on this lap, the timing screen would suggest. We've had an improvement to 4th. That's the DriveX Mercedes. Alan Hellmeister moves 4th, a 2 minutes 5.2. Johnny Molam's gone 7th. So the order is currently Caldarelli from Thomas Jaeger. Thomas Jaeger goes 2nd. So it's Caldarelli, Jaeger, Fran Rueda, Com Ledegar 4th, Alan Hellmeister 5th. 6th is Martin Conrad. 7th, Vito Postigliani. Now here is Thomas Jaeger, who we were just talking about. Jaeger was absolutely exceptional during his stint yesterday and was always going to be in the mix qualified today as he rides the curbs, really attacks them in the Lechner Mercedes. Picks up the throttle, short spurt as the car rumbles and then flings out of the Virage de Col. Mercedes burbles and grumbles, accelerates down the Mistral straight. And this has been another, or has the makings of another good lap for Thomas Jaeger. He's done his personal best first sector. What can he do in terms of the middle sector? Will he encounter traffic? That's always the slight risk Well, the first car he's going to catch is the Raton Racing Lamborghini of Kang Ling, but Ling would appear to be far enough up the road ahead of him. As Jaeger, he does an improved middle sector as well. His last lap got him to within 7/10 of Andrea Caldarelli. It was a 2 minutes 4.2. This might be a dip into the 2-minute threes. Whether or not it's going to be enough to overhaul Caldarelli, we will find out in due course, but we're now starting to see a raft of improvements throughout the field. This is the shootout we'd hoped for as we head towards the final third of the qualifying session. Don't think Jaeger's going to encounter the Lambo between now and the end of the lap. Through the final turn, and then it's the sprint towards the timing beam. So let's see what Thomas Jaeger can do. There's the line. One eye on the line, one eye on the timing screen. A 2 minutes 3.9 for Thomas Jaeger. So he gets to within 0.4 of a second now of Caldarelli's mark. Also an improvement up to third has come from Alan Hellmeister, the DriveX Mercedes, a 2 minutes 4.7. So the order is Caldarelli, Jaeger, Hellmeister, Fran Rader is fourth, Com Ledegar in fifth, Davide Rizzo in sixth, Martin Conrad is seventh, Vito Postiglione eighth, Johnny Molam ninth, Mario Farnbacher in 10th. There is the Brazilian, Hellmeister, who we were just talking about. Impressive during yesterday's race. He's caught up here behind Kiko Galbiati, so whether or not this will be an improvement, we will see. It was through the first sector, but it depends whether or not he can clear the Antonelli Lamborghini through this middle sector. He still does a personal best as he gets demoted as we watch him to fourth on the grid. Marco Ciocci has just popped up into third in the AF Course Ferrari, so Ciocci third. So the grid, first two rows are currently Ferrari, Mercedes, Ferrari, Mercedes. Expect that may well change fairly soon. But unfortunately, the DriveX Mercedes cannot clear Galbiati, so this being a lap that started so well, looks like it's going to be somewhat traffic interrupted by the end of it. The problem is the qualifying window for these tyres is reasonably brief. And here is a look at Marco Ciocci doing what he does best, which is absolutely wringing the neck of the Ferrari 488. What is Ciocci up to on this lap? It's not an improvement through the first sector. It's a 34.6. That'd be why, because he's trying to move around the AB Sport. Oh, almost contact. So the Lamborghini moved across, and Ciocci trying to fight his way past. Able to clear him now. And it's going to make for a somewhat abortive lap. I imagine that Ciocci might just back out of it and wind up for an attack next time around. Certainly the smart money was on a pole shootout really between Ciocci and Caldarelli. Thomas Jaeger, though, into the mix as well. We've still not seen the best of Com Ledegar. His 2:04.9 set very early on. He has just improved, though, Ledegar, up into fourth place, a 2 minutes 4.7. As Ciocci navigates the Virage du Pont. Now let's see. He's got a clear track in front of him. This is Ciocci's opportunity as he blasts through. Another look at this moment on the Mistral straight. That was a little bit too close for comfort. That's the AF Course pit box. They are keeping an eye on their cars as Sean Balfe trying to wrestle and improve, and he's just done his personal best lap of the session, 2 minutes 6.1. That was enough to put him into 18th place. The times keep shuffling so frequently, and we're heading now towards the final couple of moments, or final 5 minutes of the session. It looks like that is going to be that for Sean Balfe. Now, Marco Ciocci is probably the man we need to go back to having a look at, as the Garage 59 McLarens fly in formation. Ledegar behind Michael Benham. Benham currently in 21st. Ledegar in 5th. And Com Ledegar, he's on another flying lap here. imagine that Michael Benham will get the nod on the radio, probably from the team, saying to move aside, because Ledergaard, headlights ablaze, potentially going to lose an opportunity to improve here. And gets slowed a little bit and backs out of the lap. So Ledergaard, he will have another go. Meanwhile, Fran Rueda has moved up into 4th overall, the Teo Martin Motorsport BMW. So it's Caldarelli pole, Jaeger 2nd, Chiocci 3rd, Fran Rueda is 4th, Vito Postiglione now into 5th, Com Ledergaard's 6th, Angelmeister 7th, Davide Rizzo 8th, 9th is Kangling, and 10th is Miguel Ramos. Here is Vito Postiglione, 2nd of the Imperiale Racing Lamborghinis. Postiglione is on another reasonably good lap here. Still waiting for Chiocci to come through. Caldarelli has just done the fastest middle sector of anybody in the session so far, as he has another go. Chiocci improves his time in 3rd, but is not his position. 2 minutes 4.042. Vito Postiglione has also got Philip Fromenvila, the championship leader, just behind him in the Emil Frey Racing Lexus. Fromenvila currently in 13th position. It's Postiglione, who was an absolute star in Spa, if you recall, fending off those around him for much of the first half of the race. Accelerates through. Does he make an improvement? No, he doesn't. A 2 minutes 4.694 versus a 2 minutes 4.677, which had been the Italian driver's best. There was also no improvement for Andrea Caldarelli, but it was still a time good enough to give him pole position. So Chiocci is on a quick lap. Com Ledergaard is on a reasonably quick lap as well, but was a little bit slower through the first sector than he would have wanted to be. So with just under 3 minutes to go, there is still plenty of opportunity for some quick cars to shake up the grid a little bit. In the background as well, you can see Mario Farnbacher in the Farnbacher Racing Lexus, currently in 16th position, 2-time race winner already this season. Meanwhile, up into 8th has come Lorenco Beirao de Viega in the 2nd of the Teo Martin Motorsport BMWs. Into the Courbe du Cygne, swings Vito Postiglione. This lap isn't an improvement. We might see an improvement from Fran Rueda. We see another improvement fractionally from Marco Chiocci, at 2 minutes 4.003. Chiocci can't quite get onto terms with Caldarelli. Thomas Jaeger remains in 2nd. He's in the pits. Chiocci, I think, has probably had his last roll of the dice. Fran Rueda, though, is winding up the BMW for a good lap. He's just done his personal best first sector. Com Ledergaard improves his time to a 2 minutes 4.3, so remains in 6th as Postiglione and Caldarelli head towards the pit lane. Meanwhile, Michael Benham having another moment on the edge. It's coming out of turn 2. There is Benham. He's got Chiocci, headlights ablaze behind him. And Michael Benham currently in 22nd position. Chiocci up in 3rd. Keeping an eye open for the progress of Com Ledergaard and Fran Rueda. They're both in the final sector of the lap there. You just saw Ledergaard flashing through the Courbe du Cygne. Fran Rueda a little bit ahead of him on the road as we're into the last minute of the session. So these are going to be these drivers' last opportunities to improve. Marco Chiocci not on a flying lap. He's cruising round to the pits. Rueda's just come past us, a 2 minutes 4.5, so he doesn't improve. So Ledergaard might be a driver to watch for an improvement. I think that that is going to be it amongst the front runners as the clock ticks away. Handshake for Andrea Caldarelli. I think he rather enjoyed that. And that pole position looking pretty much unassailable now because there's nobody else on a lap that looks likely to topple him. as the clock ticks down to the end of the session. In fact, everybody was on the lap has peeled into the pits. So as the checkered flag comes out, Andrea Caldarelli and the SF Racing team can celebrate pole position here in Paul Ricard. Second place has gone to Thomas Jaeger. Third to Marco Ciocci. Lorenzo Beirao de Viega still pressing on, as is Luis Silva in the sporting new Mercedes. Now, what can Beirao de Viega rustle up through the closing stage of the session? It certainly looks as if he's on it. He's got well, ironically, a completely empty track except for the Mercedes right in front of him. As the last couple of cars rumble through. And yeah, Beirao de Viega clearly wants to try and get something from this as he follows the Mercedes through the Courbe de Seine. Then on the brakes into the Dubois de Beauzet, but Luis Silva also en route for his best lap of the session as well. So he's not going to feel inclined to hop out of the way in the Mercedes, even though the BMW is a little bit quicker. He's looking to try and improve from 23rd place. It means that Beirao de Viega pulls out of the lap, abandons it, knows he's not going to improve, and that rather settles the order. With the exception, of course, of Luis Silva, who heads through the Virage du Pont, and he also backs out the lap. So everybody is settled. It gives us then a qualifying classification of Andrea Caldarelli in pole position. Second place to Thomas Jaeger. Third for Marco Ciocci. Fourth was Fran Rueda. Fifth, Vito Postiglione. Sixth, Com Ledegaard. Seventh, Alan Hellmeister. Eighth, Lorenzo Beirao de Viega. Ninth, Miguel Ramos. 10th and the AM class pole to Davide Rizzo. 11th was Kangling. Let's have a look then in full. So Caldarelli, that pole position, almost 4/10 clear of Thomas Jaeger, who share the front row with. Then Ciocci third, Fran Rueda in fourth. Could work out very nicely for Rueda and Postiglione this in fourth and fifth as the race unfolds. Com Ledegaard in sixth and Hellmeister seventh. Race one winner Miguel Ramos in ninth. Just behind Lorenzo Beirao de Viega with AM class pole for Davide Rizzo in 10th in the Kaspersky Motorsport Ferrari. Kangling well up in 11th, just ahead of yesterday's runner-up Thomas Biaggi in 12th. Martin Conrad, a very solid 13th from championship leader Philip Frommenwieler. Johnny Moeller might be a little bit disappointed with 15th, and Mario Farnbacher likewise with 16th, just ahead of Jose Balbiani and Mauro Calabria. Sean Balfe, a lot to do from 20th, but we'll see what the Balfe Motorsport team can pull out of the hat. The same for Michael Benham from 22nd, and unfortunately we didn't see Jordan Witt or Davide Roda taking to the track. We are set for what promises to be an excellent race this afternoon, so do make sure that you join us from around about 2:05 Central European time, which is when our coverage will start for the 6th race of the 2017 International GTOpen season. Until then, it's goodbye from Paul Ricard.